Yes, hello, my friends. Welcome to Coded to Thrive. My name is Diederik. I've been working with the human design system for over 7 years now, being professionally trained in using the system as a way for me to get to know people. Now, let me backtrack real quick. But before I do, I just want to talk about what we're going to be talking about in this video, and that is the power of this system not just in life in general, but particularly in a career environment, in a business environment. Whether that's in person, being with your colleagues in person, or it's by working remotely. And there being quite a difference. And how this system, or at least how I've been using the system with my clients, how that can assist people in not only getting to know themselves better and what their unique zone of genius is, the environment in which they can thrive, but also how to work better together. Now, with that being said, let's dive in. Again, my name is Diederik. I'm a 5-1 spanning projector in the human design system, meaning I'm a projector type. That is one of the 4 foundational types in human design. Now, for those of you familiar with, for example, the MBTI, the 16 personality types, if you're in a business environment, you may have been invited by your manager or by your organization to take one of these tests. It can be the DISC personalities, the 4 archetypal energies and personalities that come in work and life. The human design looks at 4 foundational types that operate very differently, plus with all the other practical nuances of this design, telling you how you're meant to interact with people very mechanically, how you're meant to open up communication, how you're meant to be heard, how you're meant to be seen, how you make decisions, what your unique business strengths are, the qualities of those unique strengths, how you leverage those. Are you good solo, or are you better in a partnership, or do you thrive in a small group, and how do you thrive in a small group? What are your large business strengths, how you show up in a large business? How does it work when you are one-on-one, right? How does it work when you work remotely versus being present with other people? What is your role in work and life? Right? What is your life work theme? How do you manifest your purpose in life? All of these questions are covered in a human design. And I love the system for that. I'm 37 years old. I've worked in corporate environments, and this is me backtracking. I very much followed the corporate path. I studied my bachelor's in the Netherlands. I'm originally Dutch. Having lived in Texas, my dad working in oil and gas, we lived in Nigeria, we lived in Thailand, we lived in France, we lived in Texas, Houston being the oil capital of the world. I went back in my 20s, worked at an oil and gas company, then I ended up studying a master's degree in Texas, and then a few more years in the corporate environment, doing data analysis, being in supply chain, meaning purchasing things and keeping an organization running. In this case, very large oil and gas company with 100,000 people worldwide, drilling the wells, the actual oil wells that the BPs and the Shells can then extract, or at least can then make their profits off of, because they just own the land, right? They have the lease for the oil that's there, but they need someone to take it out, and the company I worked for at the time was one of those companies. Now, being in that corporate environment for me was always looking around and just being, honestly, just mesmerized by 2 things. One, the skill and the passion of the people around me, but also mesmerized in a negative sense by the fact that a lot of people were not being seen or recognized for their skills, or being they're not being a cultivation of an environment that really brings out people's skills and talents. And I could just see it in people. Yes, the business kept running, but it just wasn't efficient. People weren't as empowered as they could be, particularly in communication. And this is key to any type of interaction between 2 or more humans, whether it's in personal life or in your professional life. It's communication. And this is what I find in my work with clients, particularly now working in corporate environments, going to a conference room, sitting one-on-one with different people from different teams, also teams that come together, working one-on-one, going through their human design, but also just listening. My first session I have with my clients in a corporate environment when I'm working with businesses isn't to tell them right away about their human design. It's to play into my strength as a projector, as an advisor, asking the questions, being one-on-one, sitting there, witnessing someone else. Talk about, hey, what's it like in your role? Do you enjoy it here? What do you see? What frustrates you? What do you love here? What would you do different? Right? What is your career path? What is it you want? Can you achieve it here? Why and why not? Where have you come from in your career? Right? All of these questions allow me to get to know someone before even bringing in a human design. In fact, I didn't even look at, I got their data before I sat with them, but I didn't even put it into the human design, into the chart. I didn't even calculate it. I just wanted to know how someone feels. Now, working with what we call the alpha, the business owner, the person that stands outside the business but manages the business from the outside, right? And when we do business engineering, which is what I've studied within the human design system, we call it this from the BG5 Business Institute. Here we look at guiding people in their career and business, whether they are an owner or a manager or a professional working somewhere. And again, going back to this work and life, what I find is like, I had a client from this organization I'm working at right now reflect to me in this past week in a session, like, this is very personal. Like she said that she shared, I did the DISC personality types and found out a lot about myself. Um, you know, this is very personal. And I actually had a client come to me like, Diederik, not only has this information helped me in my career and helped me make the shifts and understand what I really want within this business, but it's saved my marriage. Now that's massive. So, this system really makes all the difference. So this video is really talking about, well, just also what I've been seeing and hearing, but the power of human design in work and life. Now, one of the things that's really been powerful, again, going back to communication, having done the sessions one-on-one with 5 different people, and then bringing them all together in a setting, in a conference room, and looking at communication. How are you all meant to communicate, and how are you different? And seeing how, again, instead of people being like, wow, like, why aren't you like me? And there being a little frustration almost, kind of a default we have sometimes, right? Because the only reference we have is ourselves. Through the framework of the system, being able to be, wow, so this is my type. This is how I'm meant to operate. This is how I'm meant to communicate. This is how I'm meant to make decisions. These are my strengths. This is my role in business. Wow, what is yours? And how are you different? And how can I help you? And particularly within human design, for those that are familiar with the system, the difference between, and speaking from human design, a manifestor and a manifesting generator, or what we call in the BG5 system, a builder, an express builder, and an initiator. How the communication is so different. And being able to hear, wow, the manifestor aura being an aura that can't be read, that's close and protective, and even, always impacting. Hearing from the manifesting generator saying, like, I can't read him. I can't read him. Right? Having heard that before, even knowing that this person had this aura based on the human design, knowing that he's an initiator, knowing he's a manifestor. But being able to facilitate that, how do you communicate better? And also being saying, like, this person isn't like this person, right? These are 2 very different people that operate in very different ways, and the communication needs to be very different. And again, bringing it back to that corporate environment, communication. The world is changing. We all know that. It's always changing, but it's changing very quickly. The lockdowns and everything that happened, and people working remotely, when it comes to the working environment, particularly the corporate environment, has showed how quickly things can change. And so what's really changing here is we are moving from looking to the outside, like, oh, my corporation, my business, my institutions will take care of me. It's more like, no, I'm here to take care of myself, and from an empowered place, I fill my cup first for me. Anything that spills over is for the people that I work with. It's for my friends, my family, my partner, my kids, my community, my tribe, for the collective, right? It's much more about personal empowerment. And what I call, instead of having this vertical hierarchy where someone's up here and you can only talk to them in a certain way, and there's things you can't say, and there's a whole, like you got to go through, you can't, yeah, like you can't say this. I've gone into corporate, um, meetings where like you can't talk that way. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm going to, like, this is bullshit. And it's not because of like me and my ego, but it's like I'm seeing things. I want to be empowered, and I want people to be empowered too. And the human design is one of the systems that I can use for that. So again, moving from this vertical hierarchy to horizontal hierarchy. That the mindset here is like, okay, we have different responsibilities. I might be a manager, and in the end, I'm accountable for what happens in my department. But my team in front of me, I'm like, Derek, tell me what you see. Sarah, tell me what you see. Asking yes and no questions to certain people that are built for that are designed for that, asking open questions to other people. Particularly as a projector and as a manager, I work better one-on-one. I don't work as well in a group. So I would nominate and empower one of the people in the group to be the spokesperson, someone who's designed for that, to have those meetings, and then I'm able to check up one-on-one with everybody and empower everyone and empower the group and remind everybody that we're here to be working together and to have everybody in their zone of genius. So that's what it's all about for me in work and life. It's a lot of information in this video. I just felt called to share, just because I've seen how powerful this has been in the work that I've done so far with over now 150 clients, some in their personal life wanting to make changes, some in their career and professional life, and some really in both, as I said before. Having someone say, hey, Diederik, this has not only helped me in career, but it saved my marriage. So, with that being said, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I'm very curious as to what you have experienced in work and life using the human design system, or just in general. What do you think about communication? What do you think about these environments and how we could do better? How can we bring out people's strengths, people's wisdom? How can we leverage who someone's really meant to be? Last thing I find would be a very powerful change, particularly as a department. Instead of looking like this is the role that we need someone to fulfill, these are the duties and responsibilities. Instead of being like, okay, we're going to take this person and push them in here. The flip side is like, we have this person. This is Sarah. What are Sarah's strengths? And how can we build a role around Sarah so that she can be in her zone of genius? Because one of the things that I love through human design is like, we are not built for the same thing. There are things that are your job and things that are not your job. And this whole like, well, we're here to work on your weaknesses, to me, I don't know if there's a black and white answer, but personally I think it's bullshit. Like, there are things, like even in the design, some people are meant to master a skill. Like we're all here to master a skill, but for some it's how you master that. Yes, then yes, but it's more like what latent skills do you already have? And how can we develop those further, right? Not, hey, you're not really, this is not your strength, and we're going to try and make you do that. Now, for some of you, that's going to tire you out. That's going to wear you out. It's going to burn you out, right? In different ways. If you are a generator, a manifesting generator, if you're doing something you don't love, it's going to drain you, right? I always say to my clients, it's like, you spend, 80% of the things you do will take 20% of your energy, and 20% of the things you'll do will take 80% of your energy, and that 20% is bullshit. I always say, for those, especially if you're a manifesting generator, it's like, it's the yeses and nos. So like, what is your yes and no, right? And so I see it as you got things that are like, I call it the fuck yes, like, fuck yeah, I love this, like, this is great, this gives me energy. You've got the yeses, like, this gives me energy, it's all right. Like, I don't love it, but it's okay. It doesn't drain me, per se. Then you've got the no's, like, oh, like, I really don't like this. And then you got the fuck no. And the fuck no, or the hell no, it's exhausting. Like, this is where 70% of your colleagues, your workforce, is going to be drained. It's going to lose enthusiasm, it's going to lose energy, and if you are one of those people, you're going to lose energy. So knowing that is huge. So these are some of the practicalities that I work with. Curious to hear what all of you think. Again, comment on your experiences, whether it's a human design or not, just what you find and see in corporate environments and what you would like to see in terms of changes and evolutions. Um, if you are familiar with human design, I'd love for you to share what your experience has been, either by using the human design for yourself or maybe working your human design with other people. And finally, if this resonates with you, please subscribe, and there will be more coming through. Um, I'm always looking to share more. I'm here to empower people. So, with that, if this resonates with you and you're still listening to this right now, then potentially you are my tribe. I'm here to be tribal. My energy is tribal. So if this resonates with you, I'm here to assist people in work and life, whether you are a business owner or a professional in a business. Link below if you're curious to explore working with me potentially. Always here for you. I'm always here for my tribe. And as I always say, we are here to do the inner work on our own, but we never journey alone. Your tribe has your back always. We got this. You got this. Thank you for watching this, and see you on the next episode. Take care.